All right, so today is Thursday, March 14th. There are some days that the stars align. There are some days that you see a perfect sunrise. And today, you see some days where it just seems like everything is breaking out, right? Everything is just on an awesome, awesome move. We were seeing ginormous rips from 7 a.m. till 10:30 so far. And you know what? I think there's still a lot more to come. A lot more ripping to come, a lot more breakouts to come. And it's just been, so wonderful not only to be able to commentate these and be able to, predict a lot of them, but also to see you guys convert and for you guys to bank. Again, I always just like to give you guys your shout outs, and there's so many of you guys shout outs, but obviously some of the big ones. We had Valor. He made over $7,000 today. Taylor Trader made over $9,000 today. 756. There's that 7,120, 276, 275. So just super happy for everyone who made profit today, and there's so many of you guys. You guys just absolutely deserve it. With that being said, as I'm going over this recap, guys, make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled on ATOS. I felt like I said the word guys there about 6 times in the matter of 10 seconds, but make sure you are keeping your eyes peeled for the break of 550, 560 on ATOS. Very, very important, because this is where I would not leave right now. This is where I would 100% be watching. Let me put that on the top level too. And this has been our big money maker so far. And you may look at this chart, especially if you guys just woke up or if you guys are just signing on and said this was the big money maker. This stock doesn't look like it's anything insane, but this is still a very nice rip from 440 all the way up towards around 560. I mean, that's a $1.20 rip. And if you want to see where the big money was, well, you got to wake up a little bit earlier than that. You see $1.60 all the way up to $6. What do I say nearly every day? Every day we get a big time rip, and what do I say? Sacrifice sleep for profit. But Dek, I like sleeping in. I get cranky if I wake up before 8 o'clock. Dek, I live on the West Coast. I would have to wake up at around 4:30 in the morning then. This is what you want to do. This is the career that you chose. This is what you're passionate about. When it comes down to me, I don't mind at all waking up at 7 a.m. I don't mind waking up at all at 6:45 a.m. Because usually when I wake up at 6:45, I'm always the first one up, and I put up the scanners and the streamers. And if I do see a big time rip, I'm usually hopping in on that, and I'm able to profit. And this didn't even come out at 7 a.m. This didn't even come out at 7:30. ATOS came out at 8:30. This was just an hour before the market opened, and it went from 180 all the way up to $6. This was huge. Now, with that being said, we were able to see this thing run from this $1 mark all the way up towards around the $6 area. And we were able to get some nice bouncing all the way from around 450 all the way back up towards around 560, 450, 560. So nice dollar intervals right now. But let's break this down. What has made this stock run so big? What has made so many of these plays take on off? And it really not only comes down to the press releases we're seeing. It's not just the low floats. It's just the market mentality right now. The low float market mentality where people are saying what? Hey, we saw BPTH go on a $75 spike, right? And that was huge, right? We saw BPTH go on a $75 spike. And since, that really started ripping, everyone just has that thought in their mind of maybe this is the next $75 ripper. Maybe this is going to be the one that's going to, be able to change my life. And we are seeing, lives being changed. We're definitely seeing accounts being changed, but we're seeing lives being changed as well, which is absolutely awesome. It's incredible. It's an incredible opportunity what the stock market can give you. But the fact that BPTH went on such a beautiful rip and climb, every morning people are waking up with the mentality of, I want to find the next BPTH. So what's the mentality here? Everyone's buying nonstop. And if everyone's buying nonstop, that means nothing is really dumping, and that means we have volume every single day. It doesn't matter if it was BPTH. We then, can look at JMU. We can then look at, PETZ. We can then look at VVPR. We can then look at AKTX. We can then look at ATOS. We can look at OXBR. Look how many of these. Look at these giant rips. I just typed in about 7 different stocks, and all of them within the past week. If you guys were looking right here, all have, some sort of ginormous rip. BR, VVPR, whoopsie, VVPR, JMU, BPTH, PETX, or not PETX, excuse me. With just these ginormous climbs. It's insane. Even these giant gap ups are, just insane to see. Right? HJLI, even today. So, we were seeing some giant climbs, giant rips. PETZ was the one I was thinking of. This nice climb from $1 all the way up towards 250 in a drop. So, just a lot of big time climbs. But let's go over ATOS today. What made ATOS get that volume? And ATOS, as I say, right now, do not take your eyes off ATOS, for the next 20 minutes or so. Probably the next hour or so. You don't want to take your eyes off ATOS. This thing is still setting itself up for a channel breakout. Right? We're still setting ourselves up for that third touch channel breakout where this thing could go on a very big rip and a very big run. So as we're watching ATOS right now, let's go over it. Why did the stock rip? Well, we can look. ATOS right here. We can see on the news. If we look at the news, we have March 14th. March 14th, it says it has FDA approval. FDA approval is not bad. Solid press release right there. It's not anything insane. And as you guys can see right here, out of our Dekmar Trades keywords, what do we have? FDA approval. 2-star word, FDA approval. Definitely very solid. So what made this thing go so hard then? Well, it also has a 3-star word towards it a little bit later on. Cancer. We have FDA approval on a cancer patient. So cancer always brings in a lot of hype. Why would cancer bring in a lot of hype, guys? Well, cancer is one of the things, one of the few things in this world still today that, we don't have some sort of cure for. So whenever a penny stock, company says, hey, you know what, we have great benefits in our cancer research, we're seeing improvements in our treatments, people want to get involved with that. Little sign it right now, ATOS getting a little bit of hype. So people want to get involved with that. And that's why ATOS was able to just go on a beautiful spike and a beautiful rip right away. Went on a crazy spike and a beautiful rip. And the word cancer really gets people going. Really gets people going. So always remember that, guys. And you can see how big that thing really takes on off. Anything on the positive side of cancer brings in a lot of hype and a lot of momentum. So we have FDA approval. We are extremely pleased that this patient not only benefited from our surgery, but the FDA agrees that we should continue on with these treatments. All right. That's great. That's solid. So we have ATOS with good cancer press release, ATOS where the stock started taking on off, and ATOS, which is, again, 5 million in float. And as we know, it doesn't matter what stock it is, guys. As long as it's a low float play with some sort of good news, people are getting excited. All right, what's another low float play that was, getting some nice hype? LEDS, nice low float play, trying to get some hype. Don't forget about this one. And, this is just me, again, reinforcing. LEDS, VVPR, JMU, BPTH, AKTX, PETZ, ATOS right now. This is all just low float stocks. This is like the past 5 to 6 days. It's just been insane. It's just been madness, right? So we have a good press release on a low float stock. What do you think people are going to do? People are going to go insane on it, right? People are going to go crazy on it because everyone's saying, oh my gosh, this is the next one. This is the next big rip. This is the next big run, right? We did BPTH, and that went on $75, and VVPR. That one went from $1 to $3, and then yesterday, AKTX is fresh in people's minds. And this one didn't really get as much hype, but it went from $2 all the way up to $9 this morning. So ATOS is just where everyone ran to. Now, what are we looking for right now? What are we looking for right now? We've been playing this one throughout the whole entire morning. What we're really looking for right now is going to be just that break of that top resistance, that break of that orange line, guys. And if we could break that orange line, that is where we should be able to see our next leg on up. And you have seen these pictures a million times. We're just looking for this. We have our, let's go back to a 1 minute time frame. We have our 1 touch right here. We have our 2 touch right here. And you can see we never got to the exact, that third. So it's trying to round itself on up. And it looks like it should be happening soon if it's going to happen. You got a 24K base, 520 support. That could be an area. If you would say, Dek, I want to hop in on this play, I just don't know where. You have 24,000 shares right here. That's a huge order at 520. Put your stop loss at 519, 518, because if you sell through 524, let's see. Oh, again, that's a ton of selling. Or again, he actually just canceled his order. I don't think we went through 24,000 shares. That guy actually canceled his order a little bit. But I would still, if you guys are interested on this play, let's see if that's actually going to happen soon. I would probably have a stop loss if you are looking to buy this play right now. If you're looking to buy this play right now, I would want you guys to keep it very tight. All right? The smartest or the most conservative thing would be to just wait for the breakout. All right? So the conservative way to trade would be wait for the break of this orange line. If you guys are saying, Dek, I want to get in for the run-up, well, again, you're probably looking somewhere around 515 to 520 that you want to hop in. Okay? So we'll see if that comes on up. You know, getting in now is definitely more risky. If you want to wait for the clear-cut run-up, conservative break, that's going to happen more at around this, 560, 575-ish mark. All right, so we'll see if that's going to come on up. But right now, I'm not in on ATOS. I'm, of course, going over it right now, and I'm looking for basically third touch channel breakout pattern. We've seen a lot of third touch channel breakout patterns. 1, 2, 3. Again, just looking right there, and just another little example for you guys to see that. But you guys have, again, seen all these patterns before. So ATOS, awesome job on that one. What else do we have? AKTX. AKTX, guys, this one still has good potential, right? This could possibly be an 11 o'clock breakout. And this would be one of our, what? Let's see this right here. What do I call this one? I was just like making up a funny name, last Friday. Remember last Friday? And last Friday we actually played this on TROV, and I was able to make about $400. TROV, this one went from $8 and spiked all the way up towards around $9.60. And how was I able to make that prediction that was going to go on a nice rip and climb? AKTX is on the same exact pattern right now. And we called this, we just made up a name for it. We called it the Friday Breakout Yippee-ki-yay. Hold on and let the money come in. It was like something along those lines. I just remember saying Yippee-ki-yay. And what was that really? We were just looking for a big U-shaped pattern at the break of the VWAP, right? So the VWAP right here is right along $8. If this stock starts U-shaping on up and we break that VWAP at $8, guys, we could see a very nice rip and run. So let's actually go back to TROV. I don't mind. It's going to take probably a couple seconds right here. But let me scroll back. We're going to scroll back about 6 days right here. And we're going to look for that VWAP break. Hopefully the VWAP is in the right place right here. Actually, there's the VWAP break right here. Are we already on that day? 311 actually, it did it again then. So you can see right here, we drop. The break of the VWAP on the U-shape. The buying volume is going to come in. So the buying volume is going to come in at the break of the VWAP on the U-shape right here. That's when we'll see a lot of big time hype. All right, so you can see same exact pattern. Drop, looking for the break of the VWAP, and then you got this nice big rip, this nice big run. What's in a hot yoga? Just a little random low float pump right there. So again, that's what we're looking for. Same exact thing right here. Here's the one that I played. Look at this. Drop on down, waiting for that drop, U-shaped break of the VWAP. So if we're looking at AKTX right here, we're looking at the same exact thing today. Okay? Looking at the same exact thing. We're basically seeing if this could break $8. We got this big U-shaped pattern, break of $8, break of the VWAP. This thing was massive. Massive yesterday. This was the #1 top played stock yesterday. It went on a 250% spike. The stock was able to gap up. Again, sacrifice sleep for profit. If I said wake up at 7 o'clock and I will give you $300, $400, $10,000, you would be jumping out of your bed. The stock market is literally telling you, wake up early and I will pay you. But some people are like, no, I'm going to hit the snooze button. Wake up early. AKTX went from $6 and spiked all the way up to $9.60 in pre-market. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome to see. This stock yesterday, we already had a recap on this one. AKTX, I was able to make $240 in profit on this one. So again, if you want to check that out, see that right here. March 13th, $240 recap. So again, make sure you guys check that out if you guys would like. So we have AKTX yesterday came out with advancing clinical trials for leukemia. Guess what that has to do with? Still right along that cancer, right? And that's talking about improving survival rates. So, improving survival rates, always going to bring in some great hype. Always going to bring in, great activity. So AKTX, this one, if this ever gets back above $8 and that breaks that $8 mark, breaks the VWAP mark, that's when this thing could really go. That's when we could see a lot of big time hype, and that's where we could see a lot of big time momentum. All right, what else did we see today? OXBR. OXBR is a little bit more of an interesting play, guys, because OXBR doesn't have any sort of news. So what really got a lot of volume in on this play? It was just a low float stock that broke its 200-day moving average, and people said, hey, good enough reason for me, right? It's not really holding up very well, and because it doesn't have any sort of news, but the fact that it's a low float play, OXBR at 5 million in float, the same exact float as ATOS, and the fact that it broke its 200-day moving average, traders saying, hey, that's good enough for me. I'm buying in on that one. And that's the mindset traders are at, right? That's the mindset traders are at, that they're saying, hey, I just want to keep buying. And if everyone has that mindset, guess what's going to happen? It's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. So we're seeing that over and over and over again, right? So OXBR right here, big time rip and then came back on down. Now, with that being said, guys, we also saw a couple other rips. SFET. SFET, this is a good rip today, and this is a low float stock that went on a very nice rip and went on a very nice run, right? It ripped all the way up towards around that 345-ish mark. But I told you guys, all stop losses have to be at 339. We started talking about an entry at the break of 310. It spiked all the way up towards, again, the 350 mark, and I said put a stop loss at 339. If this goes below 340, you got to get out. And what happened? It cracked 339 and started dumping on off. Everything I see here, side note, ATOS, guys. Side note, ATOS. Let's see if we're going to get the third touch channel breakout. This is the touch. Let's see if it happens. If you guys are interested, again, this is where either A, you're probably already in, or B, you're probably going in small right now. So again, either you're already in or you're looking for an entry right here. Again, look at the amount of volume. Let's look at stop loss area. Well, we have main support. Main support is going to be at 540. Right now. So main support is at 540, excuse me. We want to see bids push above 560. We want to see bids push above 560. I personally would have a stop loss at 540. All right, that's where my stop loss would be, because I want to give it a chance right here. But if it doesn't break that 560 with strong momentum, well, then it definitely is could come back on down. So let's see what's going to happen right here. This is the third touch channel breakout pattern, which obviously we have been waiting for. But we have gotten rejected 1, 2, 3 times, right? We've been rejected almost nonstop, where it's like 1, 2, 3 times right here. So we got to push. Let's see. Third touch channel breakout pattern, looking for that rip and run. Bids hold above 560. That's great. Concern is that we're not exploding. That's my concern right now. So my concern right here is we're at 560. If we're going to explode, it should happen right now, right? It's at 560, the third touch channel breakout pattern that we're all loving. That's my only concern right here, is that we're not exploding right here at the moment. So, I'd be a little careful. Maybe if you're in on this play, go small. You got a 10K 540 order. If it goes below 10K, that 540 mark, again, I'd probably be done with it. But right here, I know a lot of traders where we at ATOS. ATOS has VWAP support all the way down to 516. I know no one wants to hold the stock all the way down to 516, obviously. Right now, it's still trying to hold on up. It seems like, yep, right at that 540 is still your support. So right at the 540 is still the support. We want to see bids hold above 550. And again, my only concern is when we're at 560, we want to see an explosion. We want to see people say, hey, we did it. We got up to 560. I'm buying big. Yeah, I'm buying big. I'm buying big. It's like, I'm buying big. Everybody's buying big. That's what we want to see. The only concern is when we're at 560, we're not getting that explosion yet. So what am I telling myself? If I'm in on this play right now, what would I be doing? Let's say I bought the stock at 550. Probably regardless, I'm locking in something at 560. Deck, that's only 10 cents. Yeah, I get that, but I'm probably just locking in something at these higher 550s, because the last thing I want to do is have this thing crash all the way back down to 540 and lower and not be able to lock in any profit, right? You have a 26K order at 545. My new stop loss would be below 545, 544, 543. if you're still in on this play, because you have a 26K bid at 545. That means someone does not want the stock falling. Someone does not want the stock falling. So if that goes through 26,000 shares, or again, even if your traders push it, my stop loss right now would be at 545. 546 is a 27K bid. Let's see if we're going to be able to hold on up. I want to see this thing rip. But right now, look at 22K, 13K, 10K. You see him getting taken out, and there he goes. There he goes. So it's just like that we're able to read the level 2, and we're able to see where this thing shows weakness, where it has support, and where this thing starts dropping on off. The level 2, guys, will teach you everything. It will show you where support is. It will show you where resistance is at. Right? It will show you where support's at. It will show you where resistance at. We've been able to see some nice rips. The only concern is we haven't been able to see ATOS in a strong manner yet break that 560 mark. And if you waited for, again, 555, 560, I don't think that was a bad entry whatsoever at all. If you got in beforehand, obviously, you were able to make some profit for the run-up. But if you were looking for the breakout and you got in at the 550, 560, I don't think that was a bad entry whatsoever at all, because we were looking for that nice big breakout through it. The only concern is we didn't get that explosion through 560. But what we can always do is read the level 2 and know that 560 is still tough resistance. We can read the level 2 and be able to find where our support line is at. We can read the level 2 and find where a big bidder is at and say, okay, let me put my stop loss right below that big bidder. There's 26,000 shares being bought at 545. That means it has, if it goes through all those shares, that obviously means there's a lot of selling going on. And if there's a lot of selling going on, obviously I don't want to be in that play. So, that's what the level 2 is basically showing us. Who's buying, who's selling, where they're buying, where they're selling. And it's just helping us, get a good understanding on where I can look to, put my stop losses and where I can look for my breakout areas. Now, with that being said, it's still trying. It's still trying, and that 560 area can happen. But right now, it is a little risky. It's a little 50-50. I don't want to say, oh, if you buy right now, guys, yeah, that thing's going to break 560. Don't even worry about it. All you got to plan right now is what color Ferrari you're going to buy. No, again, I'm not going to say that. Right now, it's still a little bit of a 50-50 if this thing's going to break or not. It's trying, but it is a little bit weak right at that 560 mark. I am not in at this time. So, definitely been an awesome morning still. It has been an awesome morning. We'll keep our eyes peeled on ATOS. We will keep our eyes still peeled on AKTX if that one can ever come back up. That one looks like it's fading. OXBR was a little bit more of the break of 200-day moving average, and people are like, hey, it's a low float stock running. Why not? We also saw SFET, which did the same exact thing as ATOS did. SFET, I said put a stop loss at 339 because there was a 28K order at 340, and right when that broke through, that's where it started dumping. So you always want to have your 1 penny below or 2 pennies below the big order, and then that one was able to dump on off, and that's just all by reading level 2. So crazy morning, guys, of crazy stuff. So happy for everyone who made some nice money today, and with that being said, enjoy it. Absolutely enjoy it, guys. So I'm excited to see what's going to be coming up the rest of this afternoon. No 11 o'clock breakout. We'll see what we have the rest of the day, but what a crazy week. So happy for everyone who's been able to bank. You guys absolutely enjoy it, deserve it, and have earned it. So great job.